Okay,
let's do it.
We're live. Ryan Brown, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Fletch?
Not too bad. Describe to the listeners where we are right now.
We're sitting in a dirty Costco parking lot right now. And of course, we chose the day that Toronto was having like a massive snowstorm too.
Yeah, So what's happening right now is Ryan and I were trying to figure out where we could go to record this podcast, and the only place that's open in the city right now is Costco.
Yeah.
So we're not actually in the Costco. We're in the parking lot of the Costco in our cars.
In our cars, respective cars.
Ryan and I were riding around the parking lot looking for a spot that we could park our cars next to each other. For the listener at home, Ryan's in his driver's side seat. I'm parked on the left side of his car, sitting in the passenger seat with our windows open. We fed mic and headphone cables through the windows. So Ryan is holding his mic and has his headphones on while I have our podcast dock in my car, which is great for me because I have access to all the sound effect buttons.
Thank you.
Ryan, so we're being totally COVID safe. We even have the windows up as a sneeze guard.
Sneeze shield. This is our best option. Also, like watching people come out with their massive bulk items is always incredible to me.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was waiting for you to arrive here, a lady came out with a shopping cart, and on the top of the shopping cart was a giant plush Baby Yoda.
Okay, so like if we were at a fair, like what level, like small, medium?
Oh, she won the top prize.
She got it. She spent $1,000 that day to get a $12 plush toy.
But what perplexes me is there was nothing else in the cart but toilet paper.
I'd love to have a window into her life.
Also, in this parking lot, I've been to this Costco numerous times.
Oh, you have?
But this is the one that I tend to visit myself.
Oh, I don't have a Costco membership. Do you even need a membership anymore? Can you just go?
You do need one.
Oh, you do? Okay.
You do need one. They check on the way in. I didn't have one for a long time, but then it was like the only place open in the city.
Oh, yeah.
So I decided to start getting economical and try and come in. But the big problem that I have with Costco is I want the cheap membership. I got the $60 one.
Oh, yeah.
And every time you interact with anyone at Costco, if you have the $60 membership, they start shaming you because they want you to upgrade to the $120 one. Yeah. And they say, oh, you need the premium Costco membership. It's like, I don't need the premium Costco membership. I got $60. The argument for the premium membership is that if you spend enough, they send you a tax rebate every year. And a couple years ago, I had a Costco membership.
Yeah.
And I let them upsell me. I was like, you know what? That does sound good. If I and they do the math. They try and do the math. Like they'll start writing on a piece of paper.
Of course.
And like, I can't do mental math.
No.
It's not a good thing
They're
for me.
just whipping out figures all over the place and you're just going with it.
They could be saying anything. I wouldn't have any idea. And so anyway, I let them upsell me. I was too passive. I didn't say no. And I got a rebate check for like 60 cents after a year.
A year?
Yeah.
60 cents?
It was not a lot.
That's like the paper route I had as a little kid.
Yeah, it was not much. It was not significant. So I knew that when I was coming back to Costco, I was going to stick with the $60 membership and I wouldn't let anyone budge me.
Absolutely. So that's the only benefit is you get a rebate.
Yeah,
there's no other benefit. You don't get a same day deal. You don't get any like extra discount.
Nothing.
You don't get extra samples.
I mean, we might get someone from Costco tweeting at us being like, I've been working this entire pandemic and you've got the executive membership all wrong.
Right.
But as far as I know, there's no major benefit.
Okay,
there's no major
please
incentive.
enlighten us, person at Costco. Like, if you know, then tell us.
If you're listening to this while working at Costco, first of all, congratulations.
Yeah,
you found a great place to be.
Yeah.
But second of all, you can inform us and we will make sure that we represent Costco authentically to our Canadian audience.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to slander. Like, I don't want to pass any, like, false information at all. But just the fact that there's hierarchy at Costco is insane to me.
Well, it's what they have to do in order to make the money, I suppose.
I guess that's true. Yeah, as if like they're not making money. Like I just bought 30 flat screen TVs at once because that's where they get the deal, and they're not making money for sure.
And they're the only game in town and have been for months now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
So you might have noticed we don't plan anything for this podcast. This is a very important piece of the puzzle, as Ryan and I don't really know what's going on. Yeah. And we think that's actually an essential piece to creating an excellent podcast. So we're trying to keep this as loose as possible.
Yeah, we keep it dangerous, baby.
As dangerous as possible.
As dangerous as that giant box of Swiss chalet gravy in that person's cart over there.
How much Swiss chalet gravy do you need? We have our window open. I wonder if you can... Oh, she's looking at us. Oh, no, she's not.
No, she's fine. Do you want to talk about this word generator?
Yeah, so last time we were doing the pod, we brought a dictionary. We had Cynthia's dictionary.
Cynthia.
Hey, speaking of which, have you connected with Cynthia since our last episode?
No, I haven't talked to Cynthia at all. I even said I was going to drop off a gift, and I just haven't.
And you're on the record.
I'm on the record. Cynthia,
what happens if Cynthia finds this?
If she finds this, I'll buy you a bigger dictionary.
We should buy multiple bulk encyclopedia sets, and then we'll drop those out front of her door.
Yeah, we know you didn't want this dictionary because it was adding clutter, so we gave you 26 of something else.
Maybe she could donate it to this pod.
We buy it for her, and then she's like, and then I go on the group and say, hey, if I have encyclopedias I can borrow.
Anybody have a full set of encyclopedias?
That's actually great because then she can feel good about it. We can write it off as a business expense.
Business expense. Maybe
I
do need that Costco premium membership.
Maybe you do. We can get like a cent back. They don't even have cents anymore. What's a cent good for? Can you get it in cash or is it just to go towards taxes?
I think it just comes it's like a little printed check that doesn't look real.
Like Canadian Tire money.
Like Canadian Tire money.
The only thing it's good for is like giving it to kids who are fundraising for their school and they get like a hockey stick or something.
Yeah, it's like the type of check that you get as junk mail and you're like, I'm pretty sure I can't cash this.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like.
Totally.
I got that 64-cent check. I didn't do anything with it. I think it's still sitting in my desk at home.
Yeah.
I didn't know that anybody actually kept Canadian Tire money. I thought it was just something that like Canadian Tire gives to you on the way out the door and then you just like empty it with the receipts that have been in your pockets for too long.
Totally. They just throw it out in their garbage on the way out. You're just costing them money having to throw away their garbage.
Has that marketing ever worked?
No. Well, maybe. I'm sure some people have gotten a lot of good stuff. But I mean, now I have that little like tag that they use now instead of the actual paper
true.
Where you can just scan it when you're getting gas and everything.
You have like a club point.
But I like leave it in the car and then every time I go to the gas station, they're like, do you have the thing? And I'm like, it's in the car. And they're like, you want to go get it? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then I've never used it.
I don't need Shoppers Optimum points, people.
No, although my friend did get a 60-inch flat screen TV with just points.
Ooh.
He saved up for like 6 years. And it was worth it.
Yeah?
A free TV.
Is that like the main incentive for the Optimum points? Or are there like...
Just TVs?
Just TVs? Or can you get like a cruise? Well, you can't get a cruise this year.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to use one this year.
Have you been on a cruise?
No, I've never been on a cruise. I've always wanted to, but they really freak me out. And also, I read a stat, not the other day. I always say the other day when I'm talking about something, even though it was like 8 years ago. Every cruise ship has a morgue.
Really?
In case people die.
How many people die per cruise?
Enough for them to put a morgue on every cruise ship. Like, it's a possibility. So, are you supposed to leave them in your bathtub in your room? Or?
It costs them more to not have a morgue, so they just started making standardized morgues on. Yeah, do you think it's the employees or the guests that are dying?
It's probably like, I mean, a lot of old people go on cruises, right? Like, I bet you it's
definitely the guests.
It's definitely the guests.
It's interesting that every cruise ship comes with a morgue because it kind of feels like living and working on a cruise ship would be like living and working in a morgue. Because like, don't you get like a tiny little cabin with no windows and you're in like the bowels of the ship with other people that are in the bowels of the ship?
I have a few friends that have worked on cruise ships. Actually, my old roommate, the spaghetti roommate, he worked on a cruise ship for, I think he's done six rounds.
Okay.
Or six boats.
Is that what they say? Is that how you talk when you're on a cruise ship? Boat?
No, 6 contracts? Contracts. He's done 6 contracts on a cruise ship. And you're lucky if you get a single room. A lot of the like performers and stuff like that get a single room. A lot of the mascot performers though, like if you're a real life performer, you get your own room.
Wait, what do you mean mascot?
Well,
do they have mascots on cruise ships? Like the Toronto Raptor of cruise ships? Like each cruise ship has like a bird of paradise and like some dudes in a jersey doing like trampoline tricks and like talking to the kids. You know, is that what you mean?
My mind went directly to Disney Cruise because that was his experience was Disney Cruise, but I forgot that there are other things like Royal Caribbean.
Non-Disney cruises.
Like it's like a giant like foam wave walking around just like, hey, like waving at people. No, it is like I was talking about Disney specifically.
Wait, so did you say that the mascots have like worse housing?
Yeah.
Like they're lesser totally citizens tiered. Because they're not human?
It's totally tiered. Like if you're showing your actual face, you get paid more than people who are just in a costume.
What?
Yeah. I mean, everything has. Listen, if Costco has a hierarchy, so can Disney Cruise Lines.
So, which leads me to the next question. Do Disney mascots themselves, like, are they in a hierarchy? Like, if you're Mickey, do you get, like, the presidential suite versus if you're, like, you know, the dragon from Mulan that Eddie Murphy played? Like,
yeah, totally. Like, a little more dated versus, like, something, like, so iconic.
Yeah.
Like, Goofy,
the genie,
Minnie.
like Robin Williams, do you get, like, a 6 suite?
Well, that's interesting you say that because my roommate did play the genie in Aladdin, but he played it on, like, the live stage version, not, like, the mascot. Also, I guess that maybe like the difference is like if you speak or not, because if you're a mascot, you don't speak.
Right.
You have a person that stands next to you. that speaks for you on your behalf. So like if a kid
aren't you like reprimanded if you talk, if you break character? Isn't that like a big thing with Disney? Like Disney doesn't want any of that. Like if you're goofy and you do something that's out of character, like it is over.
It's all about image.
Wow.
It's really bad. You don't even have a window. Like you're not going to get a porthole unless you're like a very high up officer on the ship. Or if you have like the Star Trek, that's like the top performer. You get a Star Trek. That's usually like Broadway performers that come in for like 4 weeks at a time.
Okay.
They're not stuck there for 9 months.
Right. It's like if you do the Weezer cruise, like Weezer gets a sick room. Would you do the Weezer cruise? Oh, you haven't heard about the Weezer cruise?
No.
Weezer just rented a ship and then did a cruise. So if you're like a crazy Weezer fan,
what?
You can just go and like hang out with Weezer. And then instead of having Disney mascots, it's like Rivers Cuomo. But he's like 50 now or whatever.
That's amazing.
You like that?
I love that idea.
Would you spend money on it?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, depending on how much.
We should do an episode on one.
Okay. We should go on a cruise? On a Weezer specific cruise or a cruise?
I reserve the right to find something tackier than Weezer. There's got to be a worse cruise out there than a Weezer cruise.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like an OK Go cruise.
Well, I don't know. Their choreography is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, but imagine having to do that every day on the ship. Like the entire ship is just like a maze or an obstacle course, like all of their music videos. Like you just want to go to dinner, but you have to like go down a slide and through a tunnel, and like the camera angles change, and all of a sudden you're orange. Like
you have to zigzag down a bunch of treadmills.
Totally. Yeah, like it would get old, I bet. It would be cool for a day, and then it would get really old. Yeah, we should definitely do a cruise. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Okay, we'll put it on the list. We got a list. So what happened is Ryan and I were talking about our podcast. We're like, what do we do? Like, where should we go? We can't just like go to a studio like normal people.
Yeah, and
like
Costco's going to catch on if we're here every week.
Well, maybe we'll get it. Maybe they'll give us the executive membership. We'll tell them
maybe
this is a business.
Hey, maybe they can sponsor us.
Oh, where's our ad button? Are you tired of not being a Costco executive member?
Are you tired of only being able to buy one roll of toilet paper at a time?
Hold on, let's do this again. Are you tired of your Baby Yoda being normal sized? Get 7 giant-sized Baby Yodas at Costco.
Are you sad because the fair's only in town once a year and that's your only chance to get a big Baby Yoda? Just go to Costco.
Speaking of which, how's your heat level in the car? Are you still comfortable?
I'm actually pretty comfy.
Yeah, I'm good. This is better than the backyard, right?
This is way better than that backyard. No snakes.
No snakes. Hey, man.
My ass isn't getting frozen to that tandem swing. Yeah. Although they were adorable, but I think the car is a better option.
The reason that we're telling you this is a legitimate Canadian winter, people. This isn't, Alberta when that wind comes through. This is this is one of the most real Canadian winters I think I've been in a long time. Like maybe in the last 5 or 6 years. This is a lot of snow.
Yeah. And I mean, not as much as that one year. I think it was 2007 when they literally called the army?
Right.
I didn't live in Toronto then, but I remember reading the news about that. Like, what are you going to shoot the snow? Like, how is that going to solve anything?
Isn't the answer to the snow day just everybody stay at home and wait this out?
Yeah, that was the most American thing Canada has ever done. They were like, I guess we'll just go to war with snow.
Hey, do you know, speaking of wars against things that you can't win, do you know about Australia's war against the emus?
I didn't know what you were going to say, but it wasn't that. No, I have no idea.
When I was traveling, I was in Vietnam, and what was really cool about traveling is you'd like run into people, and people were really open to talk. And so it was really cool because you'd run into English speakers. Like as an English speaker, we're really lucky because people all around the world speak English.
Yeah, we are so lucky.
So lucky. So one of the things that was like really cool about that was, you get to meet all kinds of people that speak different languages. And I ran into a young Australian guy who told me that apparently the Aussies were getting overrun by emus from the outback.
No way.
And so they sent the army to fight the emus.
What?
And they lost the war.
They lost?
They lost the war against the emus. There's a Wikipedia article. You could look it up. People at home, you can Google it. It's a real thing.
How are you ever going to prove yourself as a country if you can't even beat an animal?
Yeah. They had guns, and the emus have beaks and long legs?
Beaks, and they can run really fast. But that's it. So what did the emus do to fight back? Like at one point, where was the army like, retreat, run, get out of the way? Like how did that happen?
I've been trying to figure out what gave the emus a strategic advantage. If they don't have a projectile, like when you play a fighting game and you try and choose the guy that has like a laser beam that you can shoot so you can stand away. Like isn't that what a gun is?
100%.
You're like, can't you just be off the ground? Like an emu can't climb a ladder, can't get up a watchtower. Like you have a grassy knoll or like
totally.
Totally.
Drones, you can shoot them from miles away.
Well, I feel like the Australian Army in 2021 could probably handle the emu situation. I mean,
when was this war?
I thought it was in like the 40s.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like this is recent.
Yeah, last week.
Oh,
didn't you see
40s.
The article?
The 40s. Okay, well maybe that was a little different. They were tired. They just came off World War II. They just wanted a break. They were like, now emus.
Hold on,
First Nazis, now emus.
I'm gonna fact check it. I just got to know the date. Oh, okay. Get this. Emu War. Ready?
Yeah.
The Emu War, also known as the Great Emu War, was a nuisance wildlife management military operation. And there's a Wikipedia link, nonetheless. Undertaken in Australia over the later part of 1932 to address the public concern over the number of emus said to be running amok in the Campion district of Western Australia.
Running amok. Oh, those crazy emus.
The unsuccessful attempts to curb the population of emus, a large flightless bird indigenous to Australia, employed sergeants, I can't read either, employed soldiers armed with Lewis guns, leading the media to adopt the name Emu War when referring to the incident. While a number of birds were killed, the emu population persisted and continued to cause crop destruction. So it sounds like they were trying to prevent the emus from destroying the crop rather than killing people.
Okay. So it was more of just like a land control issue as opposed to like
a cougar invading your village.
Yeah, like murders of people. Like imagine dying by an emu. Man, you would definitely have a skewed perspective of emus after that point. Your whole family would.
Do you think that, how like when we were in the backyard, you saw the snake and there was that like deep thing that you were like, oh my God, a snake.
Yeah.
Do you think that like if you're Australian, you have that, but for emus?
Oh, for sure.
It's like you're walking in the wellness store, you see the emu oil, you cringe.
You buy it all and you're like, I'm going to buy all of it and just dump it down the drain. So they have to make more so that you die like that. Something like a revenge.
Yeah. Revenge on the emus.
But it just costs you thousands of dollars because emu oil, well, that's tough to say.
It's hard to say.
Emu oil can't be cheap. Also, what's it for? Is it for like...
I thought it was like moisturization or like...
Oh, like
I don't know anything about
like
skincare. This podcast is now about the things I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Do you also not know things? Listen to this podcast.
Hey,
we
Segues.
can be confused together.
Yay!
Ignorance is bliss. Okay, we should probably start talking about our
I guess we should do the show.
Let's do our show.
Yeah. So how did we went way off, but I have a question for you. This is on topic.
Okay.
Should we have a theme song? Like, do we?
Oh yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, just kind of hoping that because you're a musician, you would just like do it.
Well, I was definitely gonna do it, but like, I also thought maybe like we should just start coming up with some.
Oh, totally. Oh, like right now?
Like, I feel like it might be part of the show.
I love that idea. And I love it almost as much as I love a walking bass line.
Dum 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 dum.
If you're looking for something to talk about, come here. No, this is terrible.
Dumb.
If you're looking.
Dum dum dum. I didn't intentionally choose the syllable dumb, but I guess it's appropriate.
So, I mean, it's better than stupid.
Crap. Costco. I felt like I should have harmonized there.
It's Costco.
I'm not a good harmonizer. I'm a better lead. You harmonize.
Okay.
Costco. Maybe neither of us are good harmonizers.
I'm going to take the fifth down, if that's cool.
Okay.
There's always that one person that always like takes that random harmony. It's like, come on, just...
Costco. Oh, wait, we both did it. Okay, I'm going to stay on one of those. Costco.
Wait, this show isn't about Costco. Why are we singing about Costco?
You write what you know, man.
You're right what you know, and I know Costco.
I remember what we were talking about. You brought up a word generator. We got distracted. We decided to buy Cynthia a Costco set of encyclopedias, and we forgot to bring up the word generator. So talk to me about the word generator, Ryan.
Okay, so okay, hold on. Whoa, stop.
You want to try that one again?
Yeah, go. Action. This is how we're going to choose the word.
Okay.
I found this word generator online.
Okay.
Where we can still use our handy dandy 26-sided die.
Oh, definitely.
To figure out what letter we want the word to start with. But this is great because you can choose what word type you want. So you can choose nouns, which I think we should go with nouns.
Right, because comfortable was a little bit uncomfortable.
It was so uncomfortable.
Right.
It's hard tying a specific noun to an idea.
Okay.
Because then you can just do it so easily too. There's also it's hard and also not challenging at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially for experts like us.
I think we're just going to choose nouns.
Okay.
We'll roll our die.
Okay.
We'll see what word we want to start with or what letter we want to start with. And then we just hit okay. And there we go.
All right. We'll figure it out as we go along. All right. So you got the 26-sided rock?
I got it right here.
You got the rock?
I don't know if we should call it what game it came from because I don't know if we'll get sued.
I don't want to get
sued. So it's our 26-sided die that has one letter or all the letters of the alphabet. And it's a game you've probably played, but
I wonder if I have to go back to our first episode and start bleeping stuff out. Maybe I'll do that.
Maybe. Well, it starts with S and rhymes with categories.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to roll it on my dashboard, I guess.
Okay.
All right. P.
Oh.
PV.
Okay. The word is PP.
I'll do a start. So we want the first letter to be P. I am an infant.
Wait, before you do that, can I tell you a story?
Shit, yeah. Okay.
So when I lived in China, I started to learn Chinese.
Yeah.
And one of the words that obviously you get the Chinese to English dictionary. And so you're like, I'm going to learn some functional words so I can go to the grocery store.
Of course.
But what you really start looking up are the swear words.
Oh, obviously.
And so one of the first things I found, one of the best words, one of the only words that I've never forgotten was bien bien, which is a cute form of saying poo poo.
No way.
So it's like when you talk to a baby, you're like, oh, you do have a little poo-poo. And so I thought this was I was so proud of this. And I thought it was hilarious, an ignorant Westerner. And so I had a colleague who was, she was mainland Chinese, but she was very international. She spoke amazing English.
Yeah.
And so and she had a great sense of humor. So I thought that she would get the joke. Hey, Luna, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry for learning bien bien and subjecting you to that. But
Luna, you know what? I'm not sorry. Poo-poo is funny. Okay, let's do it. It starts with P. We want nouns, generate random word.
I'm so scared.
Plaintiff.
Plaintiff.
So in a court. The only problem with this is that we don't get the definition, but I think we know what a plaintiff is.
Speak for yourself. I'm looking it up.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm going to go, I know it's not the dictionary, but I had Wikipedia open.
Can I guess what it is first before you look it up?
Yeah, you guess. I'll verify.
A plaintiff, I'm pretty sure, is someone who is in small claims court. It's court, but it's not it's not murder. But a plaintiff, I'm pretty sure, is someone who is bringing the charges forward.
Yeah, it's the party that initiates the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to edit this so it sounded like I knew that the whole time.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's fine. You're going to look smart sitting in the Costco parking lot.
Okay, the plaintiff. Have you
ever been to court?
No, I was going to ask you the same question.
Oh, really? No, I've never been to court.
No.
I've always wanted to go to see if it's actually what it's like in the movies.
You want to go as an audience member or as a cast member?
A cast member?
Do you want to be on the stand, or do you want to be a judge, or do you want to be a juror? Are you one of those people who's really into murder mysteries and just prays that you're going to get the jury duty notice?
You know what? I've always had not a fantasy, but I've always had this idea that I think it'd be really fun to... I don't want anyone... Okay, I have to preface this by saying I don't want anyone to steal my dog. And what I mean by that is I always think it's so funny when someone... where you're in court and you're like, this person stole my dog, and that's my dog, and then they just bring the dog to court and they're they both call it.
Do they put the dog on the stand? Do they cross-examine the dog?
Yeah, and they're like they.
Sir, I have a question for you. Are you a good boy?
Are you? Yeah, obviously every dog is a good boy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and then you both call the dog and have the dog come running over to you. I think my dog would run to me.
It's a legally sound case, in my opinion.
Absolutely. That's a perfect example right there. Although dogs are very easily bribed. If you're food motivated, as I am.
Okay.
If I was stolen from my parents as a baby, but the people who stole me just only fed me like Mr. Noodles and toaster strudels. I want to I want to know in my heart of hearts that I would choose my parents, but I don't know. I might go with the strudel.
It's a good point. So your dog's name is Phoebes, right?
Phoebe.
Phoebe.
Phoebe, like Friends, like Phoebe.
Well, I thought it was Phoebe from Friends, and the short was Phoebes.
Well, yeah, her nickname is Phoebes.
Okay, but she has a full name.
Yeah,
so like, how would you guarantee that Phoebe comes and the court settles in your favor?
Definitely. You want to go for a? That's all it takes. You want to go for a? And you don't even have to say walk. It's just it's just like the immediate like. What did you say? Did you want to go outside?
So in court, you're gonna go with. You want to go for a?
Yeah, you want to go for a. I think that's guaranteed. Do you want to go for a?
I mean, you probably want to have some like beef jerky in your back pocket or
sure.
something fragrant.
I'd probably take a bath in I don't know, like teriyaki or something.
Teriyaki.
You know, that would
definitely. Dog has a taste for teriyaki?
Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, every dog has a taste for teriyaki, man.
I guess that would be the one. Yeah. I was just gonna go with plain, like the one that's like most like another animal.
Oh! I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe they would be drawn to that more.
You know how, like, haven't you ever seen clips of dogs where someone will give them, like, a Thanksgiving dinner and they'll, like, you know, eat the turkey. And
yeah.
But they won't touch the cranberry sauce or something like that.
Like, something's off about
They're, like,
that.
too carnivorous for that shit.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know if I want the cranberries. Carrots, maybe, because they're sweet. But, like...
Only because the meat juice is on the carrots. Like, you put the gravy on, it's like, then they're all there. Yeah. I mean, we're Canadian. Poutine is, like, an institution. It, like, freaks me out as an international person that people don't understand poutine. They're like, it's weird. Why would you put cheese and gravy on French fries? And then now we've innovated poutine. We're, like, putting kimchi on it. Like, I've had shawarma poutine.
Oh, yeah.
And that is, like, the best thing I've ever eaten.
Yeah. They have poutine festivals.
Oh, my God. Where?
Places that they have festivals.
That's where we should do an episode.
Fairs, probably.
Oh, my God.
We should do an episode at a fair.
I love how we just keep planning episodes where there need to be other people there. It's like we're going to have 6 months of these episodes where we're like in cars or like somewhere random in Toronto.
Can't
and
use that one.
Just dreaming.
Yeah, can't use that one either.
No.
Okay, moral of the story. If you put cheese and gravy on it, I'll eat it.
It's better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, speaking of which, we're going to have some francophones that are going to listen to this pod and they're going to get really angry at us that we're not calling it poutine.
Yeah. Well, no, don't say poutine.
Why not?
It's poutine.
Poutine?
Poutine is poutine. Poutine means a prostitute.
Poutine sounds way worse. Poutine is a prostitute?
It's a prostitute.
Oh, my God.
At least I'm pretty sure. That's what my roommate told me. And he's from like French-speaking like Ottawa area.
Is he fluent, though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like he learned French first. And then when he was like 8 years old, his parents were like, you should probably start learning some English as well.
Oh, dang.
And then we went to college together. We met in first year of college. He kind of had a bit of an accent, but now he has no accent if he doesn't want to. But I can always tell when he's hanging out with his French friends.
Because he leans into it.
Yeah, he has no accent anymore, but every once in a while he'd come home and be like, hello, Ryan. And I'm like, hey, who were you hanging out with? Who was that?
Language is cruel and unforgiving. Language, in my opinion, is a part of nature. I always end up wondering, like, at what speed does language evolve? When we were living abroad, Liv had an EA, good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he's from Iraq. He speaks like 5 languages.
Amazing.
And, speaks English really well. He's really great at English. But at one point, he was asking her, like, what are you going to do this summer? And she said, well, I'll probably fly back to Toronto. And he said, oh, is that near Toronto? And we realized, like, people that I meet that grew up here seem to call it Toronto, Churano.
Yeah, Toronto.
Versus the further you go out, it's Toronto. And internationally, if you say Toronto to someone, they don't even know what word that is.
No, they were like, is that a verb?
Did you just say putain to me?
Did you call me a prostitute just now? Yeah. There's so many. It's almost like, you're the way you say Toronto. See, I say Toronto. So I say it almost like it's like that shows how long you've been in Toronto.
Yeah.
If you say Toronto, if you pronounce the last T, you're here for a day.
Yeah.
If you say Toronto, like myself, maybe you've lived here for 5 over years. If you say Toronto, you were born here.
A lot of people don't even say the O at the end. It's Toronto.
Toronto, yeah. And if you say Etobicoke, you don't live in Toronto. Well, you do. It's one of the boroughs, but it's not. It's Etobicoke.
It still counts.
Or Etobicoke. Do you ever have those dreams of like, or daydreams of what you would do in a situation where you've been wronged?
Oh, I call it shadow boxing all the time. When you're in the shower and it's like you have the entire fight. And you're like, and if they said this, I would do this.
Yeah.
They said this, I would do this. I would say this, and they would cry.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's especially with things that have already happened where you were not proud of you didn't show up.
Oh, there's lots of those in my life.
Yeah, you're just like, You're just like not proud of how you handled that at all. And you're like, oh, I wish I would have said this. That would have stopped him. Which, no, it wouldn't have.
No, it would have made it way worse.
Way worse.
Every time.
What you did by walking away and not saying anything was definitely the right choice.
Definitely.
I very much avoid conflict. How about you? Are you?
I'm pretty agreeable as well.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're perfect for improv, because I like to be in situations where I say yes and then contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. I made a New Year's I made a New Year's resolution once of just saying no more. Just being like, no.
How's that been going?
Well, that was a while ago and it hasn't gone well. This is like years ago.
You started a podcast, some guy called you, you were like, oh, I'm in,
for sure, whatever it is. Which I'm really happy I did, by the way.
Yeah, so far so good. So say yes more.
No, man.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks. See, maybe it has.
You did it.
Maybe it's like just worked its way in subconsciously into my routine.
It's all practice, man.
It is. It really is practice. But I remember like it was like January 1st. I was like, I'm going to say no more. I say yes too much. I spread myself too thin. I also get myself into situations I don't even want to be in. And then literally January 2nd, there was this customer I had at the bar, and I was telling everybody like who I worked with, I was going to say no more. And there's a customer at the bar who was like, hey man, I think we'd be friends. And I was like, I don't even know you. I don't want to be friends with you. And he was like, what's your number? And I fully gave him my cell phone number. And then this girl Ashley worked with was like, nice, Ryan. Like, way to go. January 2nd. I was like, give it time. It needs time. But yeah.
Did he text you?
Yeah, he did.
Were you able to say no then?
Yeah, it's easier for me to be passive because then I just don't answer.
Oh yeah, you can just ghost that shit.
Yeah, like I had that a couple times with some regulars, not regulars, but just like customers that, the good customers, they come in, they spend a lot of money and stuff like that.
They're good to you.
Let it be known, any regular who's listening to this, you're one of the good ones because I wouldn't have told you about this podcast unless
100%.
Unless I actually like.
If you're listening to this and you didn't find it independently and you know Ryan, he likes you.
Yeah, if you found this without me telling you about it, then stop texting me. Is kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's not good that now you have a public Twitter for this show. They're going to start tweeting at us.
Oh, man. What hole have I got myself into now? We're golden. What else did we want to do?
Well, we have the 6 degrees of conversation.
Oh, yeah. We got to roll and find our second word.
It's our most important segment of all.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're going to try and connect plaintiff, and so we need to select a second word.
Yeah, okay.
All right. You got the
roll again?
Unnamed dice from not from a board game? The one that you carved out of a piece of wood right before
craftsman.
You came?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Nick Offerman style, just like 100%. Did it while drinking some scotch.
Yeah.
Do you like scotch?
I don't drink.
You don't drink at all?
No, I
didn't know that.
I during the pandemic decided not to. We just had a dude walk by and he was just rubbernecking, trying to figure out.
Well, I mean, it does look strange. We're sitting in a parking lot with cables going between our cars, talking. So like,
and we have headphones on. We're probably talking super loud.
I'm screaming. Do you like scotch? Like, he's like, well, that guy has a problem. Okay, let's roll our second word and do our little 6 degrees of conversation.
All right. So we're linking plaintiff to what letter, Ryan?
Let's figure it out. Let's roll our trusty little schmatterories dice. S. So let's go to S. Bam. S. Noun. Create. Squash.
Squash. I don't think I need to look up the definition for squash.
Well, which one are we going with? Are we going with the vegetable or are we going with the action? Well, it's a noun, so I guess we're going with vegetable.
Well, you know what? Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess, why do they... Okay, we can't talk about squash. We have to start with plaintiff.
Yeah, we got to start with plaintiff. And then in six steps or less, we have to get to squash.
Okay, let's start weaving.
Okay, and it can't just be like, oh, this one time someone sued somebody over a squash.
No,
like, we can't. It's not that. It's like you have to like either come up with like actual experiences you've had, or like a believable transition.
Yeah, listen, people. This is called the 6 degrees of conversation. We need to have an authentic conversation that we weave. It's not about getting there as quickly as possible. It's about getting there in the best way possible.
It's the journey, Enjoy the journey. This ain't some rinky-dinky podcast where we just do whatever we want.
No, well, I mean...
Well, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, but that's the point. All right, plaintiff.
Okay, so we want to do rock, paper, scissors to see who starts?
Okay. Are we doing like rock, paper, scissors, shoot, or are we going rock, paper...
I've always done rock, papers,
with the shoot.
Yeah, you say scissors while you do something else.
Okay. Wait, so on scissors, we throw.
We throw. I know it makes no sense, just the way I've always done it.
All right, let's do it. Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, no, you screwed it up. Yeah, you got it. I was just going to do rock.
You were going to do rock anyway.
Nothing beats rock, man.
So you go first then.
Okay. You like Judge Judy?
Who doesn't like Judge Judy?
Yeah, what do you like about her?
I just love that she is like not afraid to call someone an absolute idiot.
Dude, she is angry.
Did you see that? Did you see the one where this guy was being charged with stealing someone's purse, this girl's purse, and she was like, I had $400 cash, and I had my wallet that I had to spend time and money on to get all those cards replaced, and I had headphones, and I had my keys, and then he pipes up and goes, Your Honor, there were no headphones in there. And she's like, okay, I've heard enough. Judgment goes to the plaintiff. $500 or whatever she was asking for.
Okay.
Well, what an idiot. But she's just like, you're an absolute moron.
She's a savage. Like, and those are the only clips. Like, I don't watch anything with commercials these days. But when I did, the only clips they'd ever show of Judge Judy were her like going full Simon Cowell on every person.
Oh, totally. She was ruthless, man. She would just like dig in. My mom always watched it when I was younger, and I didn't like it when I was younger, or maybe I just didn't like the idea of it, because as soon as the episode came on, I was like enthralled.
I've always noticed that like the fans of Judge Judy seem to skew older, and I always felt like it was my grandmother watching Judge Judy as she tore apart the younger generation.
Totally.
It was like, let's parade the idiots in front of the cable watching seniors.
Yeah.
And then let's have Judge Judy, who's in their age bracket, rip a strip off of them on public TV.
She always used her age against them. Okay, so are you going with Judge Judy then? That's your bridge.
I thought that's where we would start.
Yeah, Judge Judy, great. Okay, so
because that got us to the plaintiff.
So we started with plaintiff, and now we're at Judge Judy. Now I need to figure out where we're going from Judge Judy.
Okay.
So Judge Judy, do you know that Amy Schumer was in an episode of Judge Judy once?
As
before
plaintiff?
she was famous?
No,
she was like one of the people in the background that was like hired to just sit there and be like,
oh,
yeah. I took Christine to go see Amy Schumer in Toronto for Valentine's Day.
Oh, that would have been
awesome. But I didn't tell her where we were going. And it was Valentine's Day. It was right on the 14th. And I was like, so we went and had a nice dinner, and I still wasn't telling her where she was going. And then we go down to the ACC, and we're there. And I fully thought that when you like turn off of what street is it, Bay or something like that?
Yeah.
Where you turn off of Bay and you see ACC or Rogers Center, I guess it is now, right?
You're a Torontonian.
It's ACC.
Torontonian.
The ACC.
Yeah.
Or Scotiabank. That's what it is. Anyways, it's the ACC. So you turn around, and there was nothing. No sign, no banner, nothing. And I was like, oh, okay. So we keep walking, and then we go in, and I was like, there's going to be signs for sure. We go in, nothing. And at one point, she looks at me. She was like, are we seeing the Globetrotters?
I wish.
Because it was like there was no hockey, or there was hockey on, but they were out of town. There was no basketball. And so she was just kind of like, what are we seeing here? So we go in, like, there's nothing. We go and get a drink. We go into the auditorium, and I for sure thought there'd be a sign inside. We have floor seats,
right?
And we're standing and all it says, these big posters that just say, no flash photography.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, what is going on? Then the opener comes out, who you'd imagine would just be another stand-up comedian. No, it's a 3-piece jazz band.
Oh, my God.
Because her brother's actually in that jazz band, and she brings him on tour.
Nice. That's kind.
But she's sitting there, and she was like, there have been no clues. And I'm like, and eventually I was just like, it's Amy Schumer. We're seeing Amy Schumer, like, surprise. There was no big, hey, like, I thought there was going to be a big thing. There was nothing. Anyway, so where was Amy
Was
Schumer?
she thrilled? How did she take it? How did she take the news?
Oh, she loved it. Once she found out, she was like, what? We're seeing it. Let's get another
We're not
thing.
seeing a live jazz trio?
Yeah. Well, that was pretty cool, too.
I mean, I bet it was sick, but, it's just when it's a surprise, you're trying to manage the expectations, and then nothing's doing.
And then nothing. Also, we saw two friends of ours, and they were like, are you so excited? And I was like, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know. They're like, she's in the building. Like, what are you doing?
She doesn't know. I'm like, there's nothing. It didn't even say on the tickets. It didn't even say Amy Schumer. It just said, like, special event. Yeah, there was no sign, and I thought there was going to be some sort of, like, big ta-da. There was nothing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is Amy Schumer is my word.
Amy Schumer is your word. Okay. All right.
Off to you.
All right.
So what's that? No, we're plaintiff, Judge Judy,
Amy Schumer.
Now off to you. Just let it flow, baby. Say what you want to say. It'll go somewhere. We'll get
there. You ever tried playing walking bass? I know you've like scatted walking bass, and earlier we were talking about the walking bass. You ever picked up a bass?
No, I mean I've held a bass.
Yeah.
My buddy Al Bratz plays bass.
Yeah.
And he, when we were in college together, I tried to play his bass, like just like a doon 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 doon. You know what I mean? Like everyone plays that.
Yeah,
that purple
Barracuda.
Oh no, that's not. What am I thinking of? The
Smoke in the water.
Smoke in the water. Yeah. Who's the band? Is there Purple involved in there?
Deep Purple.
Deep Purple. I knew I wasn't crazy.
No.
I knew there was
That's
Purple
the
in there
band.
somewhere.
You got it. Like, do you think the bass is cool? Like, would you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back in time. Okay, so we're going back in time, and you know what you know now. Okay. Like, if you had, it's like you could choose a superpower.
Yeah.
Would you choose the bass?
Would I choose the bass? Oh man. I don't think I would.
Why not?
I don't think I'd choose the bass.
It's the link between the rhythm and the harmony, Ryan.
I know it totally is. It's such an important part of any band, but I think I have this theory that the only people who appreciate bass are bass players. You know what I mean? Like, I have a buddy I used to work with. His name's Brando. He used to work with him at the bar, and he's a
shout out Brando.
Yeah, hey Brando. Maybe he'll listen to this. He's a plumber now, but I don't know. Plumber's probably like
shout out Brando's plumber, but
he would always come up to me and he'd always be like, "Oh, check out this riff, because like we'd like music be on in the bar, and he'd be like, and I could barely hear it because it is kind of tough to hear.
And it's the bass, so it's more like a feeling in your bowel.
Yeah, totally. So like he'd be like, and I'd be like, I can't feel it. And he was like, sit on the sub, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh, I get it.
Now I can definitely feel the vibration in my bowel. Thanks, Brando.
Yeah, I totally get it now. But yeah, I feel like bass players really appreciate other bass players, but I feel like they don't get enough appreciation from other people.
Yeah, it's definitely not the sexiest one, right?
No, like I always, even though I do think I have like the intellectual level. I think it's higher than a drummer, but I always like
drums are fun. They're the most athletic, right? You get like you get a really good feeling. Like I had to go through a stretch where I was like working at a school of rock.
Okay,
and so we would coach these bands.
Yeah,
and we were always short drummers, at least for the first while. So they were like, Fletch, you're like kind of musical.
Yeah, you got rhythm.
Yeah, you go play the drums. So I went through a stretch of like four or 5 months where I was playing drums like 3 times a week.
Whoa, okay.
Like for like long rehearsals too. Like I was playing for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the more fun experiences I had in my life. Like I wasn't good.
Yeah.
But it was like I was with a bunch of people that also like were working on their music. They were learning. They were students. They were my students.
Right.
And the process of drumming was like so cathartic, so relaxing, so fun. Yeah. It's very much like working out, right?
For sure.
It's like playing the drums is like taking up a sport.
Totally.
Like you go there and it's collaborative. It's kind of like when you play squash.
Oh, man, you totally did it.
Did I get you?
Yeah, I had no idea where you were going.
Yeah.
Man, that was good.
Oh. Hey, Costco, thank you. We'll be here for at least another 10 to 20 minutes. Good game, man.
That was good.
That was good.
Man, you really nailed that at the end.
I wanted to lull you to sleep. I thought that you were getting worried that I was going to pull you out, but I knew where I wanted to take that.
You like hear me in the background?
Yeah, you were like, are we doing like squishing squash? Or are we doing like the vegetable squash? I was like, no, we're doing the game squash. You're going to find out later.
Man, which is a noun.
It is a noun.
So it's totally accurate.
It's a name and a thing.
Holy. Dude, that was great. You really nailed that.
Thank you.
Okay, so where did we go? So we had Plaintiff, Judge Judy, Amy Schumer.
Bass,
squash.
Yeah.
The sport.
Yeah. The sport.
Holy. Well, you heard it here first, folks. The only time those 5 things will ever be in the same sentence.
You know, that was a great stretch of segues. We segued very effectively.
We segued so hard.
That was good.
That was a hard segue.
That was really good. This was tough, man. We keep getting words that I don't know, like plaintiff and like minor penalty. Like,
minor penalty. Yeah.
I'm getting nervous. It's like I was getting nervous coming over. I was just like, it's like I know we set this up so we could have that quantum randomness factor. It's like the universe is going to drop words in our lap.
Yeah.
And that's part of the fun of this journey.
Totally.
But there's a part of me that gets like super anxious when I think about it.
Absolutely. I was like thinking about things. I was like, okay, I could talk about this. Like what's happened in my life in this last week that I could bring up into conversation. And I'm like, no, if you do that, then it's forced and weird. Just talk. Like we literally went from Plaintiff to Judge Judy to Amy Schumer to jazz to bass to squash.
And it wasn't that hard. And like, it didn't really feel forced.
Yeah, it wasn't forced. It wasn't like, also it didn't branch too far out. Like it was just, it all kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Man, that was great.
I really like the 6 degrees of conversation.
Me too. I think Grandma's birthday card is going to have a lot of work.
Yeah, we got to tinker with that.
We got to tinker with that one for
figure
sure.
That one out. I'm excited. I'm really excited. This was a productive follow-up episode of the pilot.
Definitely.
You know, we found out that the pilot had some legs, and I think that aspects of this show are starting to feel a little more tangible. It's going to be interesting because, like, when we did the first episode, we wanted to be over-inclusive, so we probably hung out in the backyard longer than we needed to, totally. Freezing our gear.
Yeah.
And then we went back to the editing table, and we kind of went, okay, what is the essence of the show?
Yeah.
And we just kept paring it down until we found out what that essence was. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really excited with this episode to do the same thing. So much of this is just we come in, and our only expectation is that we do it. And doing this was like so fun, and I'm so excited to do our next one already because it's like this is just a blast.
I mean, like, and there's just like you said, like there's like zero prep.
All right, well, let's just take a second then, and let's congratulate ourselves. Our gear did not freeze over the course of the episode.
Yes, it did not.
We did not get asked to leave Costco.
Nope, we had a couple passersby that gave us a weird look, but you know, I mean, that's Toronto.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah. Well. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Our very first episode, we think.
Yeah.
Depends on how it goes out, but yeah.
All right, beautiful. Have a ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
I don't know why I'm waving right now.
I was waving to no one in the Costco parking lot. Thank you. We will see you on the next episode of Segue, Costco. Bye.
All right, folks, that's the end of this week's episode. We really hope that you enjoyed yourselves. We really, really hope that because we had a great time. We hope you look forward to wasting some more time with us next week. Until then, the best way you can show us your love is by rating and subscribing to our pod wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SeguesPod or check out our Facebook page at SeguesPodcast. Or if you want to reach out further, shoot us an email at seguespod@gmail.com to tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, and if you have any words or topic requests for future episodes.
So until we get together again, stay safe and keep the conversation flowing.
For those of you at home, our first episode, we just decided to be over-inclusive, and we just hung out. Sorry. And what happened to Brian forgot that he was holding a microphone. He just hit it against his steering wheel for no apparent reason. Nothing happened.
I had to sniff, and I didn't want to do it on my microphone, so I moved my microphone, but I just slammed it into my steering wheel. Okay, hold on. Did you get that?
Oh, it definitely came through the headphones. I'm gonna make it louder in the
yeah.
in the
okay.
call.
As you were.
What I was just saying that